funny year in the NTFL this season. At half-time of the Nightcliff-Waratah game, I thought, geez, Nightcliff might miss the finals. Suddenly they find themselves entrenched in the top 5 and a game clear in second spot. The NTFL just keeps getting better and better. Who better to discuss it with than Gray Morris from NT News. Gray, another interesting round of footy on the weekend.
It was a fantastic round of football. The Tigers, as you said, back in winning form, and of course Districts went down at Fred's Pass, which is most unexpected.
And also on AFLN TV, we saw St Mary's and Palmerston on the weekend. Saints jumped the Magpies in the first quarter, and they never really looked like coming back, Gray.
No, they didn't. 8 goals to 1, I think it was, and it was the St Mary's of old, wasn't it? Here we are on the eve of the finals, only a month out, and it's the old St Mary's. They're going to take a lot of catching.
Interesting observation from the weekend, Gray. Palmerston managed 11 goals. How many of them do you reckon were from set shot, Gray?
I'd say almost all of them, David.
Well, we'll have to find out. Let's fire up the DK and Gray Megawall, and we have a look on the Megawall here. We can see all 11 goals were in fact from set shot. Gray, Palmerston need to find more goals from their runners, don't they?
Yes, not a real good sign for the Maggies. They've got a lot of medium-sized players, as we discussed off-air, and those guys have got to start contributing to the loose ball and putting it through the bigger sticks.
Well, they take on Southern Districts on Sunday out at Norbuilt, this pre-Australia Day clash. Great. Southern Districts and Palmerston both coming off losses. How do you see this one panning out?
Districts are very surprising losers. I was out there for that game against Wanderers, and they kicked the first goal of the game, Districts, but after that it was all blue and gold. And I noticed that their coaches come out in the NT News during the week and given them a good spray, so you would expect a pumped up Districts. But I spoke to Dean Rioli briefer this morning too. Palmerston very, very keen to turn things around, so if I was a footy fan, I know where I'd be heading on Sunday afternoon.
Sunday 4 p.m. at Norbuilt. As you mentioned, Southern Districts were trounced by Wanderers, who have now won 4 out of their last 5, Gray. Impressive stats. They take on Waratah in the Foundation Cup on Australia Day.
Monday game, a rare Monday NTFL game. Yes, Liam Patrick and one of the Motlop boys were back in the side last week. They were very good, Wanderers. Liam Patrick had kicked 5 wonderful goals. And Wanderers back to their unpredictable best, so David, you really don't know what to expect from them week to week.
This is typical Wanderers, isn't it, Gray? We see this time and time again, season after season, that in the back end, the mucks start to get a bit of a move on.
That's exactly what happened out there. As I said, District's first goal, everyone thought, here we go, but Wanderers just turned on the on button and away they went. Hopefully they'll be hoping to do that against Waratahs, and as you said, the Foundation Cup game.
Well, of course, Grey Wanderers taking on Waratah, and Waratah on the weekend almost managed to snare one, but in the end, Nightcliff too good for them, and suddenly they're back in winning form. They take on the Bombers at 3:10 on Saturday. Grey, the last time we watched this match, it was an absolute aberration. The Bomber blitz in the second half, but took over. How do you see this one panning out?
Yes, how well I remember that game, David. Halfway through the third quarter, and Nightcliff are doing virtually as they pleased, and then the Tiwi Bombers switched the on button, kicked 17 of the last 20 goals in a sensational burst of football. Gee, can they do it again? They really have to, because they're looking now at a final spot.
Well, on the weekend, Gray, I put it on the record that I think the Tiwi Bombers are the second best side in the competition. I think that they will make the grand final. How good are the Tiwi Bombers at the moment, Gray?
They're probably just about at their best, really. The side that they ran out last week was probably as good as you'll get on the Tiwi side. There may be a couple of big guys from south that come back, but the likes of Cunningham and young Munkara, all those players are there, and I'm sure Willie Rioli will be pumping into them that they need consistency at this pointy end of the football season.
Well, Nightcliff taking on the Tiwi Bombers in a big game, and then after that, Gray, St Mary's and Buffaloes live on AFLN TV. You and I will be calling this one. The Buffaloes would have to do something that they haven't done for a long time to get over the top of Saints. 2006 grand final, in fact, David. It was the last time the Buffaloes beat St Mary's, and of course they'll be hoping Darryl White and Andrew McLeod. Will he play? Will he won't? There's talk that he'll make the trip north. In fact, he's already in Darwin, but whether he'll play football, I spoke to him during the week. His match fitness is a bit of a query, but if he does, surely he will lift the Buffaloes, but gee, it's hard to see them beating St Mary's. Well, of course, you mentioned Andrew McLeod. He almost has to play, I feel, for them to have any chance. Great, of course, you put it on the record that you think that the Buffaloes would make the finals. They almost need to win this to remain a chance.
Not almost, David. They really have to. They have to beat St Mary's. They're going to be without their captain, Philip Wills, too. He hurt his groin last week against the Bombers, so he's going to be a huge loss. It's an uphill battle, but these are the type of games that the Buffaloes win.
Well, that one live on AFLN TV from 5:30. Make sure that you tune into AFLN TV. Let's have a quick look at the ladder, and we can see here that St Mary's well clear on top of the ladder, 10 points clear, and as I mentioned earlier, Nightcliff now suddenly find themselves a game clear in second, Gray.
Yes, that despite only winning one of the last 4 games. So Damien Hale will be also hoping his boys get that little spark going, because they haven't won a flag for a lazy 50 years, Dad.
Wow. Well, have a look at the points for there. You can see that Tiwi Wanderers and Palmerston all locked on 28 points apiece. One of those teams you feel has to miss out, Gray. Which one do you reckon it's going to be?
Oh, I knew you'd ask me that. A nice, tough question to end everything with. I think it's...
Jeez, Gray doesn't want to show his cards at the moment.
Tiwi, it all depends on injuries and availability, but I would expect Palmerston and the Tiwis to get there. It's Wanderers that really have to lift their intensity, perhaps, to grab that extra spot. I
reckon Palmerston might be the unlucky ones, Gray, but only time will tell. Round 15, another big round of footy this week. Make sure you get on down to the footy or watch it live on AFLN TV. But from us here today, we'll see you next week on DK and Gray.